When I decided to start a YouTube channel, I thought I'd be aiming for a format where I'm having these honest conversations with you, my listeners, but also with myself. So there is absolutely no point for me to be pretending, justifying my decisions, my actions from the past. I will call things by names, say everything as it really was, because there's so much fake on the internet, while we all know that in our lives things happen differently. And I want you to know that my life as well is not always so exciting, adventurous as it might seem on Instagram or other social media. And I was very happy after I'd received feedback from my previous video. People said that my video felt very cozy, that they could relate to the story. I finished the video asking you to share your life story, and you did. Makes me think that all of this is worthwhile. After having lived abroad for about 5 years, I returned to Moldova, my country, and ever since I've been asked on numerous occasions why and how could I leave such an amazing country like Sweden? What made me come back? Did I just get homesick? What was the issue? Did I feel like alone? Didn't find friends or something? There's a bit of truth in all these things. I've been giving shallow, not false, just kind of short and superficial explanations and reasons of why I came back home. But today I'll be telling you the real reasons and what happened to me. In my previous video, I said that at some point I moved to Sweden and ended up in complete misery. I want to elaborate a bit on this. If you have known me for long enough, then you definitely have heard me talking a lot about Sweden. You're probably at some point you got sick and tired of hearing me talking about that. Once moving to Sweden and starting living there used to be my absolute greatest dream. It was more like an obsession because my vision and thinking has narrowed to the point where I thought the only reason I was living in this world was to move back to Sweden. And I would see scenes of that in my dreams. So I was in my second year of college, and we were told that we have this chance of applying for an Erasmus program, granting us the opportunity to travel to some European countries, study there, explore, discover a different culture and maybe, a different way of studying, another education system. So when our professor told us about this chance, gave us a list where we could see all the possible destinations. There were countries that I had visited before, like Italy. There were countries I wanted to visit, like Spain, Germany. And there was Sweden, a country I knew very little about. During my interview, because you have to pass an interview where you explain why had you chosen this destination, what makes you a good candidate for this, I think I said that the reason I chose Sweden is because it sounds like a distant and miraculous place. They laughed at my face. I'd always been like super dramatic and showing this kind of childish exaltation. They were like, okay, let her go. And that was in spring, so I had to finish my second semester of my first year of studies, exams and everything. And so I was enjoying summer, and mid-August I started receiving all kinds of emails from the university staff, from my student body, because they assign you with a student body. And let me tell you, I did not even know that there is such thing as a student body, that universities can be sending you all the stuff related to accommodation, transport upon arrival, like how to get there, how to become accustomed with the city, with the people there. It was so overwhelming. And I remember my student body, he was also from an Eastern European country. I think he was assigned to be my student body just because we had this like same cultural background. And he asked me how do I feel about coming to Sweden and how long will I stay. And I told him that, well, ideally I'm gonna stay forever. I had this idea that maybe while being there I give up on my home university and just stay there. It was very difficult to get there because I had to go through all the steps with Kiev and Copenhagen, but once I reached Malmo, it was very easy because people from university met me at the central station, took my luggage, started chatting with me. We went to this building where I had to register. They would serve coffee and snacks. I'd meet other international students. And my first ever experience with Sweden was so well organized. They immediately gave me this welcoming package, my name on it. We could buy stuff like books to learn Swedish, pay for some tours around. And I forgot to say it was still August, so lessons had not started yet. And we were just free to, just enjoy being there on European money. So why not? I bought places on those tours. We had this kind of team building activities, like games to play, traveling around the city, doing quests. And it was just so much fun. So many things happened in just that week before studies. We went inside the city hall. They served champagne. The mayor talked to us about what an important thing it is for the city. During that introductory week, they also provided so much information on mental health and so many options to seek for help. There were study counselors, there were psychologists, there were even priests at the university for each religion their own, just for us to really connect with this person in case we don't trust somebody else. It meant so much because they had foreseen the fact that we will get homesick, the fact that we'll be feeling anxious and depressed because of the drastically changing weather and the short days and the darkness in Sweden. They would give us these brochures about how to survive a cultural shock, how to survive seasonal depression. There is such thing, seasonal depression. Apparently, how to fit in a new community and all of that. When studies started, we had all these super interesting and diverse seminars. I loved spending time in the library because it was huge and nicely decorated. I met lots of different people, started attending conferences and parties, getting involved with the student union. I very soon became friends with my roommate. We were sharing a room in the dorm with this girl from Lithuania. We are still friends. It's like, the moment you make a friendship for life in the most unexpected setting. I wanted to stay there forever. I was considering staying there for one semester more because I had heard stories of other people going for one semester and then prolonging their stay to 1 year. And I was considering doing that because I could see no possible reason for me to go back to Cluj or go anywhere else. I did not see a reason to change things because that is how happy I was. So during the entire time, I cannot say on an emotional roller coaster because I was only on the upper part, never going down. So you can imagine my feelings when the end of this period would approach and I knew I had to go back to where I came from. I was scared of that moment. I remember returning to Cluj, taking a taxi from Cluj airport to the apartment, sitting in that taxi while the driver was driving through the main streets in Cluj, and I thought, God, this place is ugly. I thought after I finish studying in Cluj, definitely I'll be moving back to Sweden. You sabotaged you sabotaged sabotaged.